Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, $250K cash bail for a man accused of stabbing and killing his coworker in Gigo. Plus, well into the first month in office, Nestor Lecanto takes a look at the spending for your newly elected leaders. And the new Adjutant General for Guam National Guard is sworn in. Good evening, Guahusi Nick Delgado. Well, $250,000, that's the cash bail set for the 39-year-old man accused of stabbing and killing his coworker on Friday. Investigators are awaiting the results of the victim's autopsy. The first murder in Guam for 2019, the deadly stabbing happening at this base corporation-owned barracks in Gigo on Friday. The incident leading to the death of 33-year-old Randy Tomei. GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau.
It is unfortunate, starting off the new year with a death investigation in this sort of manner, but nonetheless, our investigators will continue to conduct their investigation. There's still some other pieces that we need to tie in to include the autopsy and, of course, the findings and of course, maybe additional witnesses that can assist us.
The suspect, 39-year-old Brandy Nirabai Stephanus, is charged with murder as a first-degree felony and aggravated assault as a second and third-degree felony. Each charge includes a special allegation of possession and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony.
We are going to continue to work with the Office of the Attorney General with this case.
The suspect appeared in court on Saturday, his defense attorney reportedly claiming the case falls under Guam's Castle Doctrine law and that he was only trying to defend himself. Court documents state police showed up to the scene along Route 15 in Gigo to find Tomei on the ground and covered in blood. He had been stabbed in the chest. Documents state Stephanus told responding officers, quote, "I'm the one who did it." The suspect told investigators he was drinking with Tomei earlier that day around 10:30 a.m. before they started arguing over plates of food. Stephanus apparently gave police two versions of his story. The first was that he was standing inside his room as Tomei was outside threatening him with a knife. Stephanus claimed he then grabbed a small folding knife and stabbed Tomei in the chest through the screen door. However, documents state the suspect recanted this story. Stephanus then told authorities he actually grabbed a silver knife inside his room and approached Tomei. The two got into an argument before Stephanus admitted he kicked the screen door and stabbed Tomei in the chest. He claimed he was scared after he saw blood and threw the knife away before calling police. Investigators recovered the suspected weapon at the scene.
We are going to move forward with our findings that we presented to the AG's office.
Stephanus' bail is set at $250,000.
A pair of airmen assigned to Anderson Air Force Base face separate court-martials for sexual and related offenses. The Stars and Stripes reports trial is expected to start February 11th for Tech Sergeant Daniel Freisen Jr. He's accused of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl in Germany in 2017. In a separate case, Tech Sergeant Jakery Royster is in court this week to start trial on charges of aggravated sexual assault, indecent language, and solicitation. He's accused of inappropriately touching a woman without her consent. Royster also allegedly made sexually graphic remarks about the woman last July in Dededo. Both airmen are reportedly charged under the UCMJ. The 35th Guam legislature is projected to spend a little over $6 million in salaries and benefits for the current year. That's a $431,618 decrease compared to what the 34th Guam legislature spent last year. Nestor Lecanto has a look at the numbers.
According to an annualized list of salaries and benefits, the 35th legislature expects to spend $6,041,711 this year, compared to the $6,473,329 that the 34th legislature listed in its final report of annual pay and benefits. The biggest budget is for Committee on Public Safety, Border Safety, Military and Veterans Affairs, Mayor's Council, Infrastructure and Public Transit, chaired by Senator Jose Pito Terlahi at $321,182. He's followed by Senator Joe S. San Agustin, who chairs General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing at $287,970. Then it's Senator Clint Rigel, the chairman for Economic Development, Agriculture, Maritime, Transportation, Power and Energy Utilities, and Emergency Response at $258,220. Fourth on the list, and also the top minority spender, is Republican Senator Mary Torres at $255,589. Rounding out the top five is Speaker Tina Muñoz Barnes at $229,193. On the frugal side, the third lowest spender is Minority Senator Jim Moylan at $122,156. The next lowest is Senator Amanda Shelton at $110,232. And the lowest spender is Senator Sabina Perez, who chairs Environment, Revenue and Taxation and Procurement at $103,436. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Well, the Leon Guerrero Tenori administration released a partial staffing pattern for the Office of the Governor and Lieutenant Governor and appointed cabinet members. The partial staffing information for the 125 hires adds up to more than $8.4 million in salaries for appointed cabinet members and out-of-loop staff. You can view the complete list on KUAM.com. Personnel spending is today's talk of the town on our social media platforms. Our digital team gives us a look at what some of you are saying.
It seems the high dollar amount surrounding the new administration has caught the attention of some of our Facebook followers. Several here questioning the $8.4 million figure. Brina writes, "Wow, $8 million on staff." She pretty much put the question out there asking if those hired are qualified or family. She includes a thinking emoji. Then others commenting get straight to the point and share how they think the money should be spent. Clarissa writes in disgust, "That $8 million and none for Simon Sanchez High School. Lord, cause who needs proper education, right? SMH. Castro Brothers commented, "Wow, can we see some budget to fix the hospital and school issues?" Dozens more provided input and you can as well. Just post it right on any of our social media platforms. You know where to find us.
There's a new Adjutant General appointed to lead the Guam National Guard, and she's the first woman to take the role as well. Lieutenant Colonel Esther Aguigui will assume the role of Adjutant General for the Department of Military Affairs. She was joined by family members as she was sworn in at the governor's chambers. Governor Leon Guerrero states, quote, "We have the utmost trust and confidence that she is the best soldier to lead the Guam National Guard into its next chapter. With 3 decades of service to the nation and territory, she is the model soldier who has greatly represented our Guam National Guard through her exemplary work." She takes over from General Roderick Leon Guerrero, who served under the previous administration. Her nomination will be formally submitted to the legislature for confirmation. On confirmation day for one of the picks for the new administration is coming up. Chamorro Land Trust commissioners set to vote on the nomination for Jack Hattick to serve as their director. The governor backs her pick, but the selection has continuously brought up Hattick's dark past. Chris Barnett has more.
Tomorrow, the Chamorro Land Trust Commission will vote to confirm Jack Hattick as the CLTC director. Hattick resigning in the midst of that investigation. He had been arrested for 2 counts of child abuse and 3 counts of official misconduct. At the time, GPD said Hattick wasn't charged with criminal sexual conduct because the 3 students who accused him were above the age of consent, according to KUAM files. Fast forward to today, Hattick has repeatedly said the case was adjudicated and resolved, his arrest record expunged, and we can't find out anything else because the records don't exist. So we called Hattick and asked him for more information about the case.
I was never charged in court. I was never arraigned. I never appeared before a judge. The Attorney General sent me a notice to appear, and then after the notice to appear, because they set a date, right? And then I appeared in court, and they said, we don't have anything to move the case forward.
We asked Hattick point blank if he ever had sexual relationships with any of his students while he was a teacher at JFK.
No.
We spoke with Cynthia Cabot of the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and asked her what it means when a case like this doesn't move forward or is expunged.
Being expunged could mean then that there were grounds that perhaps maybe the victim then in the case recanted. Perhaps there were a situation where it really was consensual. But then, that's a consideration when if it were a teacher and student situation, then what comes into play is a power differential there.
Visiting sexual assault expert Nina Youssef also questioned if those who are at the age of consent truly understand what consent means.
Do you really understand a full consent? What does it mean with consent?
The CLTC meets tomorrow afternoon, and Hattick doesn't expect any roadblocks to his confirmation. Though he hasn't been confirmed by the CLTC, his salary and title was included in a partial staffing pattern released by the administration.
I feel good. I feel like we've answered the questions that the commission had the last time, and we should be a go this time.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Guam's delegate made a quick trip to the territory, meeting with officials at GRMC and the Guam Contractors Association over the weekend. But Congressman Mike San Nicolas's visit here went without any heads up to those who have been trying to get in touch with him about a variety of issues. As Chris Barnett reports, the concern is forcing others, including our former delegate, to push the question. What's up, Congressman?
Concerns about Congressman Michael San Nicolas's district office not opening until March starting to heat up. They may have even reached a boiling point for some veterans. Legislative veterans advocate Tom Devlin telling KUAM News veterans' concerns not being heard by the congressman or his office. He tells us about one veteran who has been seeking help from the congressional office.
Leg was amputated, and he had problem getting services from Hawaii with the prosthetics. And now he's developing a wound on that particular limb. And the problem is you don't have a congressional office open right now, or no one seems to know where the office is or where there's a phone number. So where does he go?
San Nicolas told KUAM News in a text message congressional security requirements keep him from opening a temporary office or even a local phone line. We asked former Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo if she thought that was true.
I'm afraid that's not true. You can always call the member, himself. Give his number, just like you called me today. I mean, there's no big problem there.
Berdallo telling KUAM News she has a message for San Nicolas about his unopened district office.
Try to work up something temporarily, immediately, because I know there's a budget there for it. There's a budget for a district office, so it should be opened up right away. I would say to him, open it up.
Devlin, a member of the Guam Purple Heart Association and the Vietnam Veterans of America, said San Nicolas needs to work harder to hear his constituents.
He has to have a phone number so that veterans can call. Not a phone number in Washington, D.C., a local phone number. And someone may be sitting at a desk, even temporarily, to start working these issues.
Dan Mendiola, head of the Guam Veterans Commission, says San Nicolas needs to do a fact-finding mission to Guam to see how important veterans' issues are. As of now, the only fact-finding mission our congressman has been on is a lobbyist-funded junket to Puerto Rico.
We're looking at him right now, and we're asking questions. Where's he at?
San Nicolas told KUAM News freshman congresspersons are having a hard time opening their district offices. But KUAM News did the research, and guess what? That's simply not true. Of the 102 newly elected Congress members, 88 of them have already opened district offices.
He promised the veterans that he would be there for them. But if the veterans can't find a phone number, they can't find an office, has he honored that promise?
I wish that I could get somebody to give me his phone number to contact him or something like that, because I do have questions.
San Nicolas has already hired several staff members, and we obtained 2 cell phone numbers for his district director, Jennifer Wynn, but when we called, both numbers went straight to voicemail. Devlin warned San Nicolas to remember he represents the whole island, those who voted for him and those who didn't.
I would recommend to him, don't get so arrogant so quickly.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
We are in it for the long run, so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you.
The great thing about technology isn't about how big, fast, or clever it is.
It's about delivering connections that empower people to achieve things. Try them for the first time.
Connect with others. Or even rediscover the world around us. It's your world. Explore it.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is not all fun and games. Our pizza is delicious with the freshest toppings, oven-baked to order. Try the fresh salad bar, sandwiches, and don't forget our mouth-watering wings. Come and eat at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
Welcome back. Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes is reintroducing a bill to ensure that under the government's insurance plan, GovCom employees can use any hospital they choose. The measure requires that public hospital, GMH, and private facility, GRMC, are part of any service proposal.
This is not new to us. The coverage for both hospitals were provided to our government employees, and I think that fair opportunity should be provided for both. Again, there may be pros and cons to this effect. You talked about the hospitals, the concerns coming up from the insurance providers, but I think it's important that that discussion be brought to the forefront again.
Health insurance company Take Care has declined to include GRMC in its plan, citing high costs. Former Governor Eddie Calvo vetoed a similar bill from the previous legislature. Well, the write-in votes for Decision 2018 are in, the Guam Election Commission reconvening Monday afternoon to approve the hand-counted list of write-ins. It took election officials 3 full days to tabulate. Of the over 8,000 write-in votes for governor, 3,800 were for Frank Uggan and Alicia Limtiaco, though other versions of the Democratic team were listed, totaling 16 pages of write-ins for the gubernatorial seat. Here's Maria Pangilinan, the executive director.
As far as compilation, we didn't add the total numbers because then it'd be very subjective. And in no way, even with the differences, even with all the calculations, in no way does it affect the results of the election.
Other votes went to Trump, Pence, Donald Duck, and over 100 write-in votes were left blank. Pangilinan says at most there are a 30-vote difference from write-ins tabulated by machines on Election Day. With federal funds, the GC plans to buy 3 new machines to more accurately read a third column. You can view the list in its entirety. Just go to GEC's website. 35 Guam DOE schools can expect repairs to their fire alarm systems. This made possible through funds from the U.S. Department of Interior. U.S. DOI will cover the cost of the first year for the $900,000 project. Phoenix Pacific Inc. was awarded the contract in December of 2018. Local funds will cover the cost for the following 4 years. Superintendent John Fernandez says teachers have developed plans in the absence of fully operable fire alarm systems, adding, quote, "The completion of this project will leave our students, staff, and families assured that our schools are prepared to guard against hazards such as fires." The fire alarms should be up to date by June of this year. More officers on the force. It's a pledge the new administration is moving on, but efforts are underway to ensure those recruits are well trained to protect and serve.
It's the first ever training for Guam's finest. More than 50 law enforcement officers from multiple government agencies on Guam and Rota take on the National Association of Field Training Officers course. Lieutenant Paul Hasselberger and Graham Tinius are on island leading the training.
Our programs are designed to train those new officers how to be professional, well-rounded police officers and start to introduce them how to be a fully operational officer.
Our program basically is a nationally recognized model for field training. It's a legally defensible program. It's an FTO program that's going to prepare young officers for their future as a career as a police officer in Guam.
This comes as Chief of Police Steve Ignacio announced 30 new officers will be brought onto GPD.
They'll be better trained, they'll be better prepared to become mentors for the next, for the officers, the recruits that come out for training. And so they provide, a more professional background. They have more professionalism when they provide training to the officers.
The top brass says the training costs some $20,000 and is funded through the asset forfeiture program. It's training to keep the officers motivated and provide skills to help new recruits overcome unexpected challenges.
Prepared how to handle those challenges without, just becoming super defensive, right? It's part of understanding what it is to be a police officer to serve your community.
Yeah, frequently negative interactions come from police officers being caught off guard and having maybe a confidence issue and not making a decision quickly enough or not knowing which decision to make in that split second. We are a business of split second decisions, of moments that can cost lives at the click of a button. And what we like to do is build up our field training officers to build the confidence of our new trainees.
Well, sports is coming up next, but first, a look at your island weather.
Start something new this year when you buy a new Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram from Cars Plus and Mighty. Like a new Jeep Compass Sport, $175 per paycheck. Or a new Chrysler Pacifica LX, $213.